A very good morning, afternoon, or evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Success Happy Hour Experience. I am your host, Rob from The Drunken Grape. And today we are showcasing how to triumph over adversity, how to leverage adversity to become successful. And we're going to get into the world of real estate. That is a massive market. It is the biggest market in the world. It drives everything. And obviously, especially here in Canada, that is a hot topic with inflation, a housing shortage, a rental shortage. But in the midst of it all, my guest has survived cancer, survived numerous setbacks to really set the stage for a successful career. And we want to get into this. Rochelle Shea, welcome to the show. We've been trying to get together for a while. How are you?
I'm great, Rob. How are you?
I'm good. It's great to have you here.
Thank you.
As you are also in this one, you're very welcome, as we're also in this city. We're going through a blizzard right now, ladies and gentlemen. That's probably why you see white behind me in the windows. That's because that is snow blowing through the sky. So from the sky to the ground, it's a curtain of snow here in Ottawa. But getting into it, Rochelle, you have some really unique life experiences. You've had to overcome a lot. And just talk to us a little bit about your personal journey. And, it's like, it's something that I think needs to be shared and voiced, because what you've done is pretty inspirational. We'll get into that. You've become very successfully self-employed. That is not easy. We were talking about that in the green room, the challenges of being self-employed, especially in a city that's pro-government, almost all government. It's like a white-collar government factory city, so to speak, public sector dominated. So to break through those things, but you also had some serious battles personally. Let's get into that. What happened and what did you do to overcome it? Because so many people are struggling out there today and they need to hear this.
Well, I've had a few health struggles throughout my life, actually. You didn't know this, Rob, but I also had a brain tumor.
Wow. Okay. No,
my
I did not.
Yeah, I've had a few challenges. So my mother, my grandmother, and my uncle all passed away from a brain aneurysm. My mom was younger than me. She was 49. Wow. So I was being monitored for aneurysms, and they found a brain tumor. So it really was found by accident. And that was found in 2008, and it was on my ocular nerve. So in 2010, Dr. Egby at the Civic decided it was time for it to be removed. So I had brain surgery in 2010. So that was, I was already in real estate at that point. So that was a little bit of a setback in my career. But I got through that. And then back in 2021, I had lost my vision really suddenly in my left eye, and I thought it might be related to the tumor. So I went to the hospital, and they did an X-ray of my head, and they found lung cancer.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That was bad enough with a tumor. And, kudos for them to find it, because obviously there's a genetic component. I lost a friend of mine from that. Like, he was 41. It's a guy I knew from high school. And he had an aneurysm 10 years prior, lost his sight. And then the next one, that was it. And it's a sudden lethal killer. Like, you don't know it's there.
Yeah, I mean, it was a blessing that the tumor was found. And then, fast forward to 2021, when they were checking out my eye, they thought it might be related to MS, which I'm still sort of being investigated for. But if I do have MS, it's a very mild form of it. But when they did the head X-ray, they had caught part of my chest and recommended that I go for a chest X-ray. And I thought, I'm fine. I have no symptoms. I'm healthy as a horse. And I'll never forget, on July 13th, 2021, I got a message from MyChart saying that, and I just had the test done that morning at 7 a.m. So I sat down, opened up my email, and found out that I had cancer. So it was like, okay, here we go. What do we do? So I just set the ball in motion, and I made a decision that I was going to do whatever it takes to get healthy. And I had a great team that took care of me, and I had surgery. They removed half of my lung, and I took 1 month off of work and went back. And I had the best year of real estate of my career at that point. while doing that. So
that's crazy.
yeah,
That's a testament. You're definitely tough. You're definitely strong. And wow, I mean, I've lived through it. As we discussed, my late twin sister passed from breast cancer. She was clean for about a year and 3 months. And then there were some lymph nodes. They obviously didn't clip out from her being at near stage 3 or into stage 3 and metastasized into her liver. And that was it. So anybody that survives it, and I mean, that's a serious scare. Lung cancer is no joke because that's one of the portals of your body. That disease, it's a nasty set of diseases, can spread anywhere and easily. Lung cancer, once you have it, that is just a portal to go everywhere and anywhere on a dime. You're lucky.
I was
you're
really,
blessed.
really, yeah, I was really fortunate. They found it. It was stage 1. It was early onset. And it hadn't, they did a PET scan. So I was cleared for cancer in the rest of my body. So I said, do what you need to do. So it was pretty major surgery, and I've had a couple of follow-ups since then, and I'm in the clear.
Wow, and cheers to that, and happy hour. I am actually, as you mentioned, taking a bit of a break from alcohol. You have water, taking a break from it too. But this is Bridgehead. Hell, I'm trying to remember. It's a dark roast coffee. It's the Bytown Boom with vodka cream. So this is from the Dairy Distillery in Almont. Rochelle, this is near us. This is gluten-free. That's okay. I can hear the puppy in the background. This is gluten-free. This is certified by dairy farmers as authentic quality milk. I think it's lactose-free as well. They believe in sustainable distillation, a lot of sustainability in viticulture, and brewing is kicking off. But this is a wonderful drink. It's vodka-based, I believe, but it's just what a combination. If I had this with vodka, threw in a bit of Kahlua, you've got a fantastic White Russian happening. So, I mean, there's you being a bartender, you can appreciate that. But I want to cheers this because you're here, and not only are you surviving, you're thriving. How did you switch the gears? What got you to switch the gears in the midst of these diagnoses to go self-employed? Because you mentioned that switch also hit pretty much around the same time. And from what I understand, you're also a single mother. And this is, kudos to you to have the fortitude to plant yourself and drive forward. I mean, what got you to ignite to get to where you're at today? And I believe you were recently awarded some awards in real estate. You had hit some benchmark and milestones that are quite high end. I do know that 9 out of 10 real estate agents don't make a proper living out of it. It's at least that. And then the other 10% are the ones that feast on the glory because they do the work.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, so I've always lived my life. I have had a very rough life. I left home at 15, never went back, have been working full time since. And my mentality is you have two choices in life. You can be a victim or you can be somebody who's going to overcome things and use your strength, right?
Amen to that.
I think what's really served me well in life is I have never been a victim. Had I chosen to be a victim, I don't know where I would be today, but it certainly wouldn't be here. So, when I've overcome any of my hardships, it's been one foot in front of the other, and let's just get this done, right? Like, let's just move on, move past it. And did I foresee my success? No, I didn't. I don't have a high school diploma. I left school after grade 9.
Wow.
So, yeah, I mean, for reasons that I had to, I don't regret not completing that. I ended up here because I worked extremely hard, and my street smarts are worth 10 times more than a book education. So,
agreed.
Yeah. So I think the biggest piece of advice that I can give people is don't take that victim stance when, lots of people have a lot of horrible things. And I'm not saying sweep it under the rug either. Acknowledge it, accept it, work through it, but then you got to move on. And I think that is what has worked for me in my life.
That's sound. That's sage advice. Especially in today's world. we love to drive the victim mentality. I mean, this is just a social concern. It's not a political view. It's just social observation. And socially speaking, we have a choice. You can hit the switch to drive forward and keep one foot stepping forward at a time, or you can turn back and just try to run and hide. And, you are somebody coming out at 15 where most would have ended up in pretty horrible situations, whether it be on the streets, it could be in a whole myriad of things, organized crime, could be prostitution. I mean, a whole host of things happen to people who leave broken homes at a young age like that. And for you to have the wherewithal, I do love the fact you mentioned education. I have a degree, but I can tell you a lot of it would belong on a dartboard. Skills matter a lot more than specific or just general high-level education now. Unless education is specific and skill-trained, it's hard to find value in it today's world. And I'm glad you mentioned that. And I'm also glad you mentioned the stressing of hard work. You mentioned that you went and worked as a bartender. We know that's long hours. It's a hard gig. Yes, you can make great money at it, but you have to hustle. It's sales. You're responsible for cash flow, the client, liquor laws. There's a myriad of things you were responsible for. And you parlayed that at one step further into housing and real estate. And along the way, obviously, you did a lot to gain education on your own and a lot of skill sets on your own. And I have to commend you for that, because
thank you.
That takes a lot of perseverance. And that's something that is the trait of a champion, is to persevere, is to keep fighting.
It's not always easy. Listen, I've had my moments there. I've had some dark days, and it's not always easy. But like I said, you have two choices, and I have this survival instinct in me, and it's just sort of propelled me to where I am today. Everything that I've achieved on my own. I've had help from literally no one, no family. So, I've always had to just rely on myself. And I'm hoping to sort of teach my boys. I have, two boys, as you know. I have Devin, who's going to be 22, and Kian, who's 19. And
wow, young men.
Young men, yeah. So I've been a single mom for about 5 years now, and they're wonderful human beings. I think I've done a great job raising them, and my hope is that I can inspire them to believe in themselves. And once you believe in yourself, really the sky is the limit. You can achieve anything you want to achieve. So I think that's the biggest gift that I hope I'm giving my children. They've seen, the hardship I've been through and the obstacles I've had to overcome. And I'm certain that it is rubbing off on the two of them. So that's my proudest accomplishment.
That's cool. I high five to that one for sure.
Thank you.
Being able to impart to the next generation these values and the value systems, the biggest educator of all. I think what you're doing there is brilliant. I think your sons are going to come out to be better men for it. They're going to also become better men because they're raised by a strong woman. That's going to teach them temperance with women. That's going to teach them a lot of things on that front, respect as well. These things are all paramount and cornerstone to becoming a good adult, assuming responsibility, having to realize that success is on your own. This is your choice. You got one go around in life, and you can choose to maximize it or live the pity party. Really, it's to me, there's no halfway.
You just nailed it, and not there's so much truth to that. We really only, and when I've had a couple of scares with, this cancer would have killed me. So when you come face to face with that sort of thing, I don't know, it gives you a different outlook on life. That really, it is truly a precious gift that we only get one shot, so don't waste it. Be a good human being, work hard, have a good set of morals and beliefs, and lift others up, and just be a good human being. So that's how I live my life. And I think that that's why, I don't know, I'm as authentic as they come. And I think that is probably why I'm so successful in my career. I'm not a salesperson. I don't sell homes. That's not what I do. My relationships are everything to me. These are these people's biggest financial investments, and I take it very seriously. It's not a sale for me. It's assisting somebody with something extremely significant in their life, and I think that that's why I'm so successful.
I think that's terrific right there. And, we can talk about that now and get into the sappier side of it, the happier side of things, how you got there. Relationship selling to me is incredibly powerful. We can talk about this for a minute because I think this is key. So when I drive the Drunken Grape, I was not one to pound the phone and make sales calls. I did a bit of that. I've always been really good at cold calling, but I hated it. And you know what? The success level is ever worse now than ever for trying old tactics from the 1980s and 90s like this. People have call display on their phone. Everyone's on a cell phone. Nobody answers a phone number that they don't recognize. They shoot you straight to voicemail. They don't want to hear this. It's even like LinkedIn. I'm sitting there and I've got a prolific community that's been growing and budding. I've done it organically. And nothing's worse than somebody wants to connect with you and they automatically try to sell you.
I know.
Because you're not going to win that way, right? It's fostering a reputation and relationships over time and keeping the pressure up over time on those two aspects gets you way more results that are lasting. Because don't you find one way is very transactional and your business can be poached? You must see this in real estate all the time. Those that hustle and just act like car salespeople, used car salespeople because they're the worst, or travel agents, they're some of the worst. They just, if you don't buy now, get out. Well, that's not a relationship. I experienced that recently with a girlfriend planning a trip. Part of it was our fault being a little disorganized and some things coming up continuously. And I guess a good problem of me winning contracts coming up and have to delay my trip. And kudos to you for taking off for 2 months or a month and a half down south. I'm jealous. But that's also part of being well-rounded. You knew when to unplug. But getting back to that,
it's super important.
It is.
Relationships.
Yes, relationships
are everything. They're everything. I mean, I don't spend a dime on advertising, not a penny. And I'm able to do that because if I can give my client an exceptional experience and genuinely care for the end results without thinking of it as a sale, then that person will refer 10 people. And when that person needs to sell, they will call me back. So all of my business is generated by social media or repeat business or referrals. So relationships are everything. And, you have to just genuinely care.
Yep. You have to want to deliver a great product or a service delivery to somebody. You have to genuinely care. And my philosophy on that is if I can't execute my brilliance and get rewarded properly to what I'm worth, that's the other thing you got to know is your worth. Unplug it. Don't do it.
Well, and you bring up worth. So I think that the reason, I've been in this business for 17 years and my success is only very recent. I was the secret agent for many years. I was kind of embarrassed to tell people what I did because I'm not a salesperson. So I was very quiet and I didn't advertise on social media and, I was doing okay. But I loved my job. And I think that the turning point for my success was when I started to believe in myself, to believe that I am worthy of success. I am worthy of happiness. I am worthy of awards and recognition. And I don't know what happened in 2020. I just had an aha moment where I was working on a team and I wasn't happy. They were lovely people, but I know that I wasn't working to my fullest potential. So, as a single mom, I had a salaried position at that time and I was selling a few houses a year. So as a single mom, it was a really hard decision to break off that substantial guaranteed income to try and do this on my own. But I'm telling you, Rob, I don't know what it was. I believe and you got to ask the universe for it. Ask for it, demand it. And I got into this place in my head where it's like, I can do this. I'm good enough. I'm smart enough. And gosh darn it, people like me. Like that old SNL skit. It's like you really have to believe
Yeah.
that you're good enough. And I don't know what happened. I just, from that moment, I took a giant leap of faith, and I'm very much no risk, no reward. If you don't try, how are you ever going to know? So I experienced, instant success.
Well,
It wasn't, it blew
yeah,
my mind. I was like, wait a second, what the heck is going on here? But it was instant success. The moment that I started believing in me and believing that I am able to do anything, and that I really truly deserve it. Because that was one that I struggled with, some self-worth issues over my life for different reasons. But the
sure.
moment that I started believing that I deserve it, and I, asked the universe for it, here it is. And also worked really hard, but it was shocking to me. But if I can do it, anybody can do it, truthfully.
Do you think it was also accumulation of not quitting and persevering in this industry for 17 years that when you got, so that would have been what, about year 14 for you? You know, it's,
Yeah.
you had the aha moment, but don't forget, you'd already become an expert in your field. You'd already spent well over 10,000 hours in it. You're in the
Oh,
trenches.
yeah.
You already knew the clients, you knew the processes and systems. It was a matter of just saying, you know what? Fuck this. I'm going to get off the bike that other people have given me and I'm going to build my own and go.
That's exactly what I did. I said, enough is enough. And if I'm going to do this, it's like full steam ahead. Let's just do this. And it's all about discipline. I worked really, really, really hard, and I came with 13 years of experience, and I'm very, very good at real estate. It is not something that I grew up wanting to do. I fell into it, and it is my absolute passion because it's a relationship business. It's not sales. Anybody who thinks that real estate is sales is in it for the wrong reason. This is relationships. This
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
people's
I agree.
biggest financial investment. It needs to be taken seriously. It's not a transaction.
Yes.
That's the way that I approach it.
Well, I think you're 100% right. I approach my business the same way. Um, Anything that's done transactionally is much easier to poach from your competitors too. That's the other thing for people listening on the
Yeah.
business wheel here. Do you want a business that's lasting? It takes a little longer to build. When you build it, it really that tree, the roots start to run really deep, and it's next to impossible to uproot. Once you've got those pillars planted, you're not going anywhere. You're only going up, especially if you
I
just keep
hope
putting in the
so.
effort. Yeah, I believe that because you're not willing to let the foot off the gas pedal either. You're just going to keep driving that car
No.
down the road.
Yeah, and I think that every realtor wakes up on January 1st and has like a panic attack about when you're on 100% commission, you're thinking,
Right.
how am I going to survive this year? We do have, I come up with a business plan, and I know what I want to accomplish, but at the end of the day, it's scary. But as the momentum builds and my people reach out to me and refer me, then it's just a well-oiled machine right now of amazing clients. I am so blessed to work with the people that I do. So, but yeah, being self-employed is not easy. As you know, it is a tough gig.
No, it's something. On a parting note as we come towards a close on this, and this has been a great discussion.
Thank you, Jazz.
Yeah, no, you're very welcome. It's talking about all these people refusing to go back to the office who are employees, especially the federal government here in Ottawa. My girlfriend works at Ottawa U, and she's happy to go to the office 2 to 3 times a week. She even says it's more structure. I get shit done. It's got files in an environment where I can just be at peace. If students need to come in and see me, it's not hard. They can walk through the door.
Yeah.
They don't have to Zoom call me or phone me. I can just deal with it. Self-employment. And this is what I say to a lot of people that complain about having to go back to the office. Well, one of the only ways you're going to avoid that and control, because as an employee, Rochelle, do you control or do you not control the terms of employment other than being guaranteed a safe place to work? Yes or no?
You have no control.
Exactly. So the only control you really have is if you are at the top of the employment food chain, where you're a CEO or a director and you actually do write your own hours, or if you're like us and you're self-employed, you find freedom.
I wouldn't have it any other way. Like you said, I took a month and a half off, and I know when it's time to recharge the batteries. And it's work-life balance, and being self-employed is tough, but the perks that come with it way outweigh, the negatives.
How did you enjoy your time off, by the way? Let's get into that, because let's talk recharging and why it's important. You worked your ass off. You took a month off, I believe, or a little bit longer, but you need it. I mean, you're a single mother. That in itself is a full-time workload. Let's throw in a full-time business. And then planning and recharging. How important is it for people to realize that time doesn't wait for anybody and things can happen and they need to put it down sometimes? What's your thoughts on that?
Well, it's a struggle. I mean, even for me, sometimes there's the guilt of going away and, taking care of me, because I am the person who takes care of everybody else, right? My kids, my clients, my friends. But if you don't take care of yourself and your mental well-being and physical well-being, then you're no good to anyone. So it starts with you. And it is all about work-life balance. I'm really fortunate that I was able to take that kind of time off. But with my health scare, I don't know. I don't want to work 365. And I've just hired an admin, and I have a partner that I can leave my business with, and I can take the time that I need to recharge the batteries. It's so important. So important. So I can be the best version of 100%. Me for my clients.
Yes, agreed. On that note, you've been a sensational guest.
Thanks.
I'm going to have show notes in here of where to find you. I'll get your email details and that. I think I have that anyway, but I'll write that into the description of this show. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure to subscribe, share this content. Make sure to connect with Rochelle Shea. I'll have her Facebook profile linked in there as well. You reach out to her. I think if you're looking into the market of selling or anything real estate, people like Rochelle are definitely gems in the midst of a sea of salespeople, and I think it's really important for people to reach out and connect with those that are real in a mostly not so real market where people are much more self-interested than they are actually bringing value to help people. I think you're going to be you're a huge asset in that industry. So ladies and gentlemen, make sure to reach out to Rochelle. You've been a terrific guest. Whatever you decide to do, ladies and gentlemen, have a terrific day. This is Rob and Rochelle from The Drunken Grid.